Sullivan and members of this House. We do not think that we should abolish Women's Day. And I would like to first of all point out the mistakes made by the Prime Minister. Then I will give you our reasons why we do not support this motion. Last but not least, we'll give you the policies we have made to address this problem. First of all, the Prime Minister gave us the standard of today's debate, that is, to achieve equality between men and women. But what did she mean by equality? She didn't tell us. There are a lot of ways to interpret equality. And our side would like to interpret equality as to promote the welfare of women and men. Since we are mainly talking about the Women's Day today, so we would like to say that one of the very important standards is to ensure that we can promote the welfare and the protection of rights and benefits of the women. Moreover, the member of the opposition government gave us one example to prove that we have already achieved equality, saying that she and the other two girls, including me, are debating here with my partner, a boy. So that means we have achieved equality. So I have one question. If I can drink clean water, does that mean that everybody in the world can drink clean water? You can't give your personal example to prove this general statement. That is ridiculous. Also, the member of the government said this sentence that nowadays women are being discriminated, that men are not fully respectful to women. So are women and men equal or not? Are women being respected enough or not? I'm totally confused by the government's speeches. And the member of the government told me not to mention again what the Children's Day, the Women's Day. I'm afraid to say that I have to mention it again. She told us that women are mature enough. They do not need protection like children do. However, I'm saying that women need protection. Moreover, men also need protection. And if we consider the elderly people in the society, are they mature? Yes, they are. But do they need protection? Yes, they do. They need more protection. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, members of this House. I find one contradictory point raised by the government. The government first said that consumers do not have to rely on advertising to make decisions. They can always find information on the website. Well, is information on the website trustworthy? I don't think many of us would agree that all of the information publicized on the internet is trustworthy. Besides, the member also mentioned that advertising led to the consumer's desire to buy and that people are not always rational. But if we do not rely on advertising, then we seem to be pretty rational. Then they're saying that the consumers are not rational. So I'm a bit confused whether they're saying that the consumers are rational or not rational. And even if we admit that people are not always rational, then we can see that this is not the problem about advertising. You cannot make sure that everything we are in contact with, all the information that we receive, are trustworthy. We have to develop our capability to discern, and we have to learn to judge from right to wrong. So it is not the problem of advertising. It might be the problem of the people who are not rational themselves.
Please answer this question. What is the purpose of advertising? What is its purpose? And if it is effective, what is its result? Yes.
Yes, I'm going. My answer is, people want to buy things because they think that they need it. And by advertising, we can give people the choices. We can add one product into their range of choice. That is the function of advertising. Advertising does not necessarily create desire to buy. The third assumption is that he said cars are made out of the sweat and the blood of the workers. However, I want to say that thanks to the assembly line, machines and robotic systems developed by human beings, we have been liberated from being slaves. We do not have to sweat and bleed to create cars. He also mentioned that the cars are made out of the resources of our Mother Earth. I want to ask, what products is not made out of the resource of the Mother Earth? The thing is not whether we should or not use the resource of the Mother Earth, but how we can effectively and efficiently use the resource of Mother Earth. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before Chinese and Western civilization came into close contact, the Chinese people had always longed for a life depicted in traditional Chinese paintings. Those paintings present a harmonious coexistence of people and other life forms. Regarded as the essence of ancient Chinese philosophies, harmony has been deeply rooted in the minds of the Chinese people. On the one hand, it has contributed to the unique continuity of Chinese civilization. On the other, Chinese people became too much contented with their achievements to desire any further changes. As globalization deepens, it is bound to affect our ideal of harmony. First, globalization urges China to speed up its modernization, which threatens our regard for the harmony between man and nature. For instance, many dams and hydropower stations are being built for economic benefits at the expense of the well-preserved natural habitats. However, ecological malpractice of such kind goes against the notion of harmonious coexistence in ancient Chinese philosophies. More than 2,000 years ago, long before the concept of environmental protection came into being, Dujiang Weir, a great irrigation project, was built in southwestern China's Sichuan province. It succeeded both in controlling floods and in facilitating the agriculture without posing a threat to the environment. Moreover, globalization has brought with it intense competition, which threatens our regard for the harmony among people. Traditionally, moderation is the golden principle presiding over interpersonal relations in China. Today, however, motivated to come to the top, some people become so self-centered that they choose to sacrifice love, friendship, and even family ties. Last but not least, diverse cultures have met in China as a consequence of globalization. Therefore, a clash of cultures becomes inevitable. Unfortunately, the past decades have witnessed a huge loss of cultural heritage in China. In cities like Beijing and Xi'an, hundreds of century-old Chinese-style houses are being demolished to make room for skyscrapers, shopping malls, and 8-lane expressways. From these examples, we see the disharmony brought about by globalization. Yet, it is not globalization that is to blame, but rather our attitude. As long as we approach globalization with harmony in mind, its benefit will outweigh its cost. Take my hometown, Hangzhou, for example. Thanks to the strenuous efforts made by the municipal government in achieving eco-development, various kinds of water birds have returned to the West Lake, calling it home again after years of migration elsewhere. From the lake bank, we see skateboarders and trick cyclists showing off together with people flying kites and kicking shuttlecocks on the plaza nearby. Therefore, although they compose a picture quite distinct from traditional Chinese paintings, this picture conveys a modern sense of harmony in this era of globalization. Ladies and gentlemen, To conclude, I would like to quote from British philosopher Bertrand Russell. In contrasting Chinese and Western civilization, he observed, "The distinctive merit of Western civilization is the scientific method. The distinctive merit of the Chinese is a just conception of the ends of life." It is these two that one must hope to see gradually uniting. As we see the tremendous progress China has been making drawing on experience abroad, we may also expect the traditional Chinese value of harmony to enrich the world. I look forward to the time when Russell's prophecy comes true. Thank you very much.
And the topic for your speech is, last July, a college student from Tsinghua University was killed in a mountain climbing accident. The accident brought back memories of a similar accident 2 years ago when 5 students from Peking University died while scaling a mountain in the Himalayas. How do you value the challenge that they set themselves?
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In human history, many figures stood out from the rest due to their great courage in sacrificing themselves to overcoming the challenges. We all remember Marie Curie, who suffered from the radiation of the chemicals. However, her sacrifice won her 2 Nobel Prizes. When the Iraqi war broke out, many reporters, regardless of their safety and health, went to the war front to bring back the first-hand information. I admire their courage. However, I dare not agree that college students should sacrifice their lives to set and overcome those extremely dangerous challenges. To my understanding, there are 2 basic reasons behind the deaths of those college students. First of all, they do not have a clear picture of their abilities. In other words, they overestimate their potentialities and at the same time underestimate the cruel conditions in those mountainous areas. With the advancement of science and technology, they could have gone through more professional trainings and be better equipped with the protective measures. Secondly, I believe those college students who died in their trips to Mount Everest lack a basic sense of responsibility for the society as well as for their families. Ever since the first human being set out to conquer Mount Everest, few succeeded, many failed, more are buried in the snow caps forever. The deaths of the college students brought unimaginable grief to their friends, families, and the universities. For the family, the parents' years of efforts to bring up and cultivate the child now became vain and fertile. For the society, it has lost 6 potentially intelligent and talented people to improve the progress of the society. Ladies and gentlemen, the famous American novelist Ernest Hemingway once said, "Courage is grace under pressure."